One of the categories that we have is contributor. And we discussed that we haven't had a contributor in our Hall of Fame yet, and we talked about it at the committee level as to who would be the right person. And John Mingst's name came up, and without hesitation, everybody almost unanimously said, that's it. And so, you know, the older you get, of course, we all get a little more retrospective towards things. And I realized what an impact he had on my life and on so many other lives of the students that he taught. And so I know that I couldn't speak about that, because if anybody was at the pep rally today, I couldn't speak about that. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Rob Bell, who will come up and present John Mingst and the family his plaque.
Jeff, congratulations on what a great, the Hall of Fame is just amazing. And I'm here just because, it gets me choked up.
I know.
I love Mr. Mingst. Mr. Mingst changed my life. A lot of you may not even know me because I was really shy in high school. Really shy. In fact, if you added up all of the signatures in all of my high school yearbooks, they totaled 1. Thank goodness for Steve Martell. And the reason he signed it, he got a hole-in-one that summer, and he wanted a new nickname, Ace. So he named it, he signed it Ace Martell. It's the only reason I had his signature. But he was a friend of mine. So I was, you know, and I'm 6'2", which is kind of tall. You know, I'd meet people who didn't know me, and they go, "You play basketball, Rob?" "No, I'm too shy. I can't do that." I was in band. I played B-flat clarinet. And I loved it, because Mr. Mingst was so amazing. By the time I was in high school, I was the only guy left in the B-flat clarinet section. And I was so shy, I didn't know that's a good thing. I can't talk to these girls. And Mr. Mingst was worried about how shy I was. And he knew Jim Franzen down at Dick's Supermarket. And without me even knowing it, Mr. Mingst got me a job down at Dick's. And I went in for my band lesson on a Tuesday afternoon. And Mr. Mingst says to me, "Rob, I got you a job down at Dick's." "Isn't that in the public? I can't do that." He said, "Do it for me. It'll help you come out of your shell." I can't let him down. So I said, "I'll do it." So I went down to the store. And at the store, I did what I always did. I didn't talk to anybody. And after a couple weeks, Mr. Mingst says to me, "Rob, when you're down at the store, say hi. Say hi to people." "I can't do that." "No, do it. Do it." So I got down to the store, and I'm freaking out. And I see a customer. "Hi." You know what she said? She said, "Hi." That was cool. I said hi to another customer, and he said hi. And a monster was created. All of a sudden, I realized I'm not the biggest loser in the world. I always thought I was, and I'm not talking about the television show, The Biggest Loser. Just so you know, I am in the middle of a 30-day diet. So far, I've lost 15 days. Mr. Mingst changed my life. I'm a professional speaker now. I speak all around the United States, and it's amazing how many times, this is true, I will be speaking somewhere and it never would occur to me somebody from Dodgeville is in the audience. And I always talk about Mr. Mingst. And they will come up to me and they will say, "He changed my life too. He changed my life too." I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without Mr. John Mingst. In fact, I worked at Dick's, and I remember years ago, I was there many, many years, and I ran into him. It was just before I turned 50 years old. And I hadn't seen him in quite a while, and he was in the Dodgeville store. And I said, "Hey, Mr. Mingst, how you doing?" He said, "Rob, you're closing in on 50. Let's go with John." I said, "Yes, Mr. Mingst, but he'll always be Mr. Mingst." And one last thing, I wasn't in sports, and he was a contributor. He loved Dodgeville. He loved Dodgeville sports. And I wasn't in sports, but I still remember the pride of being in a parade and having our straight lines and our diagonals, and seeing Mr. Mingst right up front, man, we were good. Ooh, we were good. And I was in the pep band with Mr. Mingst. And I marched on the football field at halftime with Mr. Mingst. And we were out there in the cold and the wind and the rain because we wanted to be great. Mr. Mingst had high standards. High standards. He didn't just let it slip. You know, if you love a teacher, you love them because they had high standards, not because they were the easy teacher. And anybody here have Mr. Mingst? Anybody? Was he amazing? Yes. Yes. I am honored to be here. It is just an absolute pleasure. Am I supposed to read these real quick? I forgot about that. Mr. Mingst, Dodgeville High School band teacher, music teacher, musical director. In fact, you know, they were short on guys one year. They didn't have enough men in the chorus. And he came to me and he said, Rob, we need you in the chorus. I said, well, I can't sing. He said, oh, come on. So we go down to the band room, he plays a few notes on the piano, and then he says, yeah, stick to band. So he was very honest, and that's good. He was the musical director from 1970 to 1999. I think that's why he filled our heart, my class, because I graduated in 1973, so I had him 71, 72, 73. And was he in the middle school in 68, 69? I mean, we had him straight through. He was family. He mentored hundreds of us, music students, to top ratings at district and state competitions. He was, as we all know, an enthusiastic promoter of Dodgeville athletics, providing pep band support, football, halftime shows, and consistent encouragement to athletes. He provided support to coaches and scheduling, ensuring student talents so the athletes and musicians had the best possible educational experience. He's a graduate of Waterloo High School in 1960, earning letters in football, basketball, and baseball, played trumpet, and sang in the choir all 4 years. His undergraduate degree from Milton College in 1964, master's degree from UW-Platteville in 1970. So it is an honor. When I heard Mr. Mingst was getting this, I immediately said, I'd be happy to talk. I'm kind of shy. I'm working on it. I was a lot shyer, and I didn't feel good about myself till Mr. Mingst. So I'm so honored to have Charlene, Julie, Paige. I know Jennifer couldn't make it, and thank you for allowing me to talk about my hero, Mr. Mingst.
At this time, I'd like to have the Mingst family come forward and we can present them with their plaque. On behalf of the Dodgeville Athletic Hall of Fame, we'd like to induct Mr. John H. Mingst as our first contributor to our Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Well, Rob Hill is quite an active fellow. But everybody has spoken so eloquently, and it is a wonderful thing that Dodgeville High School is doing. And Jeff and the committee, thank you so very, very much. He may be the old, well, I don't know, high school band director to be in that, up on that wall. But Rob, thank you so very, very much. Very happy that Julie and Paige are able to be here tonight. Jennifer is way up in Hudson, so she couldn't make the trip. I know that if John was here, he'd have a lot to say, and he wouldn't be crying. But he just truly loved teaching. He loved Dodgeville. He loved the sports program. Being in sports and having a dad for a coach he just felt like it helped him communicate with all the kids. And so many of them come up to me and say that. And I appreciate it so very, very much. Sorry. Just thank you for all your kind words, everybody. Terry, Edwards put the words together on the plaque, and I appreciate that, Terry. And Jeff, thank you so very much. Thank you all for your keeping John alive in your memories. Thank you.